All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another coffee Q&A. It's another week of the coffee Q&A here on the onocoffee channel. I'm Jay, your host, as always. And if you're just joining us for the first time, we do a live stream about coffee, answering questions and answers Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. So good to see you. Welcome to the show. How you all doing today? How was your weekend? Everything was good, I hope. Things in my world were pretty good, I think, overall. All right, so today we're going to talk about something that is really important, but probably the most unglamorous part of making coffee, and that is cleaning. You want to clean your equipment relatively frequently. Now, I would tell you clean it daily, but if you're not working in a production environment, like in a professional cafe, chances are you don't need to clean it regularly. I mean, we're cleaning at Spro, we're going to clean the machines every day because we're pulling upwards of hundreds of shots a day. So in your espresso machine, you're pulling, let's say 50, 20, 50, 100 shots a day, whatever it may be. You want to keep the machine clean. And if you're going beyond that, you want to maybe clean it in intervals throughout your day. So it all just depends on how heavy you're using your equipment as to how often you should clean it. Now, when you're a home enthusiast and you're using your equipment at home and you're making 1 shot a day, 2 shots a day, 5 shots a day, you may be able to clean your machine once a week, maybe even once a month. But the important thing is that you want to clean it. Now, why do we clean the machines? The machines we want to clean because there is buildup of the oils, residual oils, things like that, that can turn rancid over time. Good morning to you, Mom. How are you doing? How was your weekend? And you want to make sure you just keep those clean. Otherwise, you start to get buildup of that. There's also buildup of excess dirt, coffee, that stuff, and detritus that hasn't been able to be flushed out of the machine during your flushing procedures. So you want to do a regular cleaning and scrubbing of your machine. And so you want to keep a kit. I do keep a kit. I think I have a kit in here. Let's have a look here in my little toolbox and see what we have in here. We've got extra burrs. These are 83 millimeter Mazzer major burrs. We've got extra portafilters, more burrs. These are Malkonig burrs. I don't know why I have those in there. Here we go. This is what we're looking for. First of all, we're looking for our blind filter basket. Maku, happy Monday to you as well. And the blind filter basket is basically just that. It's a blind basket that you, these are tight, that you put into your machine. And so if you look at the regular basket, you can see here, let me zoom in a little bit more so you can see. So this is a regular style basket, the double shot basket. This is the blind. And of course, there's holes in this basket. There are no holes here. And what this does, it just prevents the machine, it pushes the water back, essentially, right through the machine. So we need this. And what else do we have in our little kit here? We have some brushes. Here we go. We'll need a little group head brush. And you can get something very simple like this, or you can get the fancy paleo tool, which I have somewhere, but I don't know where it could be. Oh, these are Mazzer major burrs. I mean, these are Malkonig burrs. I'll just have random burrs lying around. These were actually for my friend Juan Manuel, who never came to get his burrs. Oh, and it's all coming out. That's bad news. I mean, obviously, this has been quite a long time ago. Also, what you might want to keep in your kit, there's also extra dispersion screens. This is a dispersion screen. I think this is actually for the La Valentina. And what this does is that this is what actually is above your dispersion screen. This is your dispersion head. This goes above your screen and your gasket, and this is actually where the water comes through, right? The water is pressurized right here. You can see in this particular machine, it comes down in through there around this big screw bolt, and it's pressurized through these 4 holes. So what else do we have in here? What other tools do we have? Oh, this is a little remover tool from Ernex to help you. If you want to pry out your gasket, you can use that. Some other brushes. I think that's everything we're going to need. Yeah, that's good enough. That's good enough. You just need to have a couple tools, and really all you need is your brush, your blind basket, And either a prying tool like this, or like I tend to use a flathead screwdriver. And these are very simple, short, stubby flathead screwdrivers. I like to get the big wide ones so you get a lot of grip. And what you're going to do is you're going to use this to get inside your group head and pry out your dispersion screen and whatever else you might need to pry out. Dylan, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Just as a little note, this here is the actual portafilter for the La Valentina. Yeah, these both are. There's a single. They give you a single and a double basket with the double spouted portafilter. These are old school cast brass portafilters that are coated with chrome. This is how when I started 20 years ago, this is how all portafilters were made back then. And only recently did, La Marzocco start to use, and I guess, I should probably take that out of there. But only recently did they start to move to actually manufacturing these in stainless. And obviously, cleaning has not been a priority here, so we need to make sure we cover that. Okay, so, what we need to do, we do need to do some preparation. While we're talking, I need to prepare some hot water. You want to have just off the boiling hot water. So I've got some water here, and I'm just going to put it in our kettle. I'm going to put it on our heat source here. Now we must have boiled it all. There's a quart of water in there, and I'm just going to, I got a little butane burner over here to the side that I use for all the coffee burning that we do here on the show. So we're going to heat that up because we're going to need to soak our portafilter and our components in solution in order to clean it up. Because what we're going to use a solution to essentially dissolve a lot of the detritus and buildup that we have. And now one of the nice things by having multiple portafilters with a basket, so I can now, this is the one we're primarily using, I can clean this while using this one to do the machine cleaning. So that's a real nice thing to be able to do if you have enough portafilters lying around. But as you can see, there is a little bit of a difference between these two portafilters, La Marzocco here on the left and the original La Valentina on the right. This one is very, very old school, traditional Italian portafilters. This is new school, fancy coffee people kind of portafilters. You can see the difference. This has greater capacity than this one. It also has this lack of, this little right angle there prevents you from, if you want to put it on your counter, right? If you want to put it at the edge of your counter edge, unlike this one where you're tamping, it could roll, right? This one doesn't really, it's less roly. It's less roly-poly than it would be otherwise. All right, and then also another really nice feature of the newer generation stuff is that it's all stainless, plus it's also easily removable, where these are screwed in and set. Now, if you're just pulling espresso at home, it's probably, you don't really necessarily have to worry about this. This is very handy if you want to make Americanos or things like that, where you really want to get extra space under the spout so you can put your serviceware, your cups and mugs under there and really get, like we talked about, I like to pull the shots directly into the vessel that we're serving in as much as we possibly can in order to preserve all the crema and everything about the espresso. So now let's go and start the process that we need to do. So first off, we need to pull the dispersion screen and the gasket. Well, in this case, it's dispersion screen and the gasket because they're kind of integrated in this particular machine, the La Valentina. Let's go to the La Valentina. This is the La Valentina. And let me pull this shot up here. I did bring in another camera for today so that we could have the ability to have a little more, hopefully have a little bit more of an interesting angle. Okay, this is the La Valentina. Let me turn up Okay, so this is La Valentina. The La Valentina uses the E61 group head developed by the FIMA Corporation back in 1961, which is why it's called it. It's pretty much a huge piece thick of brass that is just like heated by the boiler and holds temperature stability. This, in 1961, was a major leap forward in espresso machine technology as far as thermal stability. So really a great invention by FIMA, and it has been with us for many, many years. Now you can see here, we're going to look at the dispersion screen. You can see right over here, this is the dispersion screen. It looks dirty. I haven't cleaned this since we started doing the show, but we haven't really done a lot of episodes. So basically, you can see that the black here is the gasket, and then we have the dispersion screen. Excuse me. If you see a La Marzocco dispersion screen, it actually has the screw that locks it in place in the center. And in the La Marzocco, you'd actually use this same screwdriver, and you would unscrew it that way. But on this one, we just need to pry this out, if I can do that. Here's one of the problems. If you haven't done this in a while, it becomes very difficult because everything is getting crusty. And you know, also another issue that could happen today is that maybe this gasket is rotted and I will not be able to reinstall it because if it crumbles on us, then we're kind of hosed. Or, as I would normally say outside of a live stream environment, you know, we would be screwed. So just kind of pry that out. Just got to work your way around. It's a little bit more difficult if I'm holding a camera trying to narrate what I'm doing, but you get around there and come on, baby. Oh yeah, it's ouch. Got to be a little bit careful because, you know, the group head is hot. So, and this one you kind of have to pull down. Kind of even there we go. Now it's free. We can see here the dispersion block underneath it, which is essentially what we saw in that part. Let me boost the signal a little bit more here. Yeah, there we go. So you can see here dirty. Look at that. Dirty, dirty, dirty. Very dirty. Let's look at the bottom of the screen here. Very dirty as well. Look at the cracks. We're going to have a big problem now. I really need to order more gaskets for this. Maybe just order a whole new dispersion screen setup because I haven't. This is pretty old. Now, to be honest with you, I don't use this machine that often outside of what we do here on the show. So, you know, that's something that I don't worry about too much. But as you can see here, we've got a lot of crustiness, a lot of buildup. See, this is all buildup from just us pulling shots on the show. Capre, good morning. How are you doing today? So we're going to have to clean all this up. So this kind of mess, this kind of extra detritus, we just want to, you know, clean it off. So in this case, I would do this typically in the sink or over the trash can, just to get the excess grounds off of here. Just scrub that off. Now, if you're doing this on a regular basis, you will probably not have this much buildup, depending on how much volume you're actually processing between your cleaning intervals. But this one, as you can see, that's fairly dirty. That's quite dirty, dirty, dirty. So let me just wipe this off here, get this into the trash. Now, one of the things we want to do with this is we're going to take our portafilter. This is what we're using. We want to take this portafilter apart. So again, we're going to use our little, you can use your flathead, stubby flathead, or we can use our Ernex tool to pry up and out. So you can see the basket here, a little bit dirty, a little bit stained here. We want to clean all that. I'm sure we have some staining in there. You can see some staining there. Now, these are our components, right? These are what we're going to clean in another vessel. So now I do have this little container, and the water's kind of boiling. We're going to place all of these items in here. Oop, not that. Oh yeah, that. And can we fit that in there? No, we can't really fit that in there. We may have to do this separately. Let me look here. Maybe I have a bigger container we can use. I wasn't thinking much about, we can use this. We will use this, this knockbox. As you can see here, we got the knockbox here. We can now put all of our components in there, and we'll still have enough space to submerge the portafilter, which is what we want to do. We want to submerge all of our parts in the water. So the water's boiling. Now, time for our cleaning agent. Now, I know a lot of you guys use things like Ernex, Cafiza, and those kind of things. Perfectly fine, perfectly great chemical to use. However, I like to use Unscented OxyClean. Now, I know you guys are going to get all like upset about this, and we'll get a lot of hate on the email for this. But OxyClean, many years ago, I started wondering, like, do I want to pay $15 for 20 ounces of Ernex? Not really, right? Especially since we're going through it at a fairly steady pace. If you're using one 20-ounce bottle of Ernex a year, not a big deal. But if you're going through it at a good clip, yeah, that kind of adds up after a while. So this is OxyClean Unscented. And when you look up the ingredients, and I've included the MSDS, the material safety data sheets below, for you to look up for yourself and see what you think for yourself. But I found that the active ingredients in both OxyClean and the Ernex type product are essentially the same. They're basically oxygen-based cleaners. So I started buying these big 11.6 pound boxes from Costco for relatively little money. I forgot how much these cost now because I haven't bought one. This, especially now that the main shop has been closed for a while, this tends to last a very long time. And if you want to do, you can also toss this into your laundry to do some pre-rinsing. So very nice. But get the unscented. Good Lord, you don't want lavender flavor, messing up your machine. So you get the unscented OxyClean, and yeah, it's pretty much the same. So that's what we use. Now we're just going to take some of this Oxy. And now instead of worrying about the 20 ounces, you've got 11 pounds, you can be a little more liberal with it, right? So I sometimes will just not worry too much about it. It gets a little bit chunky sometimes. Let's look inside here. You can see here it does get a little bit chunky because of the moisture. So I'm just going to take this chunk that just happens to be there. I'm going to toss that in there. Now be careful, because when you handle it like I just did, you want to make sure you rinse off your hands. And this is something I never really thought about until last night when I was writing the show's description for today. And I was reading the MSDS for both products, and both of them talk about the active ingredients in either OxyClean or Cafiza. Means that, it can be a skin irritant as well as an eye irritant. So if you're going to handle it like I did, very cavalierly, then you want to make sure that you rinse off your hands afterwards, just to make sure that you don't rub your eyes and then perhaps lose eyesight. Okay, so let's have a look here. We've got the block of our, in there. We're just going to pour this in, and we're just going to pour it and fill up the cavity. You can see it's already activating. We just want to make sure we cover, if we can. Well, we're not going to because we don't have enough water. That's more than a quart. We want to, cover the portafilter as much as possible and jostle around. And as you can see, it's working. You can see that it's already doing its thing. I got to be a little bit careful because I don't want to burn my countertop. But as you can see here, it's working just as you would find Cafiza. So fantastic. And yeah, that's it. Now we're just going to push this to the side to let it do its thing. It's going to just let it rock and roll. Actually, I'll put this over here into the sink. So I have a stainless sink over here, so it's not going to scorch anything. Now we're going to clean up our espresso machine. So the basic way to do that, you're going to take your extra portafilter, your blind basket, put them together. Great. And then we're going to take a little bit of Cafiza. Like, remember, if you ever use one of those paleo tools that has a little scoop, you only need a very little bit in your portafilter. Probably that much. Maybe that's a little bit too much. Now we're just going to take this and go to our machine. So here, let me also turn this on, get this rolling. We want to make sure that our machine runs hot, good, everything's ready to go. And we're going to lock and load. Oh, we can't lock and load. Yeah, we can't do that. Okay, so that's going to have to wait a few moments because I'm used to La Marzocco machines where we can drop the basket without removing the gasket. However, because there is no gasket in the E61 group head now that I pulled it, we have to finish this first. We have to finish this first stage of cleaning first. So that's a little bit of an error there. Let's pull it back out and have a look at how it's going. See if we can force the issue a little bit here. It only takes about 10 minutes. This could be one of the problems that you're going to have if you have an E61 type group head where you have to pull the gasket and the screen at the same time, because you could just do the flushing part of it first and then do this part of it. But I like to get it all out so we can scrub underneath and get it. But either way, it still all works. It still all works. So let's have a look here. You can see I haven't really jostled this. It's just really kind of been, doing its thing. And I do have a heavier concentration of this on here. Now, if you're using all stainless steel, if you're using all stainless steel, no problems. OxyClean or Cafiza, perfectly safe. Now, if you have aluminum tools like this, you don't want to introduce Cafiza or OxyClean to aluminum. Now, in this particular case, this is one of those spinner tools where it has an anodized coating. I don't know if the anodized coating will actually protect it in this case. However, I remember that I wanted to clean one of my Japanese pots. I have this Japanese pot, the ones that are hand hammered. They're metal with a wood handle. And I wanted to clean it one day because I had some, I've been frying stuff in it, and I had, some of the oil stains. So I was thinking, let me use some OxyClean to clean it up. So I soaked it in there. And of course, this is like aluminum can. It's an aluminum pan without anodizing. And it just totally tore up the finish. It's all kind of mucked up looking. So don't use these with aluminum tools. I don't know if anodization will protect the aluminum, but you don't really want to find out, especially if you like your tools, you're like me, you want to keep them looking pretty. So after that, I haven't got rid of that other pot, but I did go out and buy a stainless steel version of that Japanese pot because I was like, I don't want to think about those kind of issues. All right, so let's have a look here. We are now the problem is I did put boiling water in here, so it's going to be a little bit more See, I think this feels like anodized aluminum. I wanted to stick that in there to dig it out, but we don't want to do that. Let's get this tool here and see what we can find in the treasure. Oh, there it is. There it is. Come on, baby. How's this come? Oh. So in this case, let's do a little bit of extra assistance. We'll put a little bit of that in there. Now we're going to take our our brush, and see if we can scrub some of that off. Yeah, you can see it's coming off. That's pretty nice. So it's doing a good job, right? But we just need a little more soaking. So let's do that. Let's let that soak and do it. We want to let it soak and do its magic on its own. If you do this fairly regularly, so here's the thing. So if you're doing this on a fairly regular basis, not like once every 10 months like we're doing right now, you will have less cleaning to do during that interval, right? So like if I had been doing this every month, the buildup would be a lot less on it. a lot more manageable than now. But I'm going to tell you that I left it off all this time just so we can illustrate the point, because that sounds like, that sounds like I know what I'm talking about more than anything else. Dylan says, I assume that this can't be used for your bath at home. I wouldn't. Yeah, it's meant for, it's at least OxyClean is marketed as a stain remover. So it's meant, designed for cleaning rather than bathing. Yeah, I wouldn't bathe in it. Use Epsom salts for bathing, or use Mr. Bubble. If you want to bathe, use Mr. Bubble. Mr. Bubble is so much better. I like Mr. Bubble liquid more than Mr. Bubble powder. Although it's a lot easier to like lose control of like the quantity with Mr. Bubble liquid. Yeah. And if you have a jacuzzi tub, I used to have a jacuzzi tub many years ago. Lady friends would come over and let's turn on the jets. And it was like in the movies. You had bubbles like up to here. You're like, oh, this is beautiful. Mr. Bubble in a jacuzzi tub. Now, the real way to get that, right? The real way to really affect it is as you're filling the tub, right? The jets are maybe like 6 to 8 inches from the bottom of the tub, right? Or whatever it is, maybe 12 inches. Once you get the water level, right, to just cover the jet, like, right, if this is the jet, it starts to cover right there. Just like steaming milk. This is actually the first time I learned about milk steaming, texturing technology, and without even understanding that someday it was going to apply to me. But once you got right to that edge, right? You know how you ride the steam nozzle right at the edge of the water? Once you get the nozzle to the edge, you turn the jets on and you add the Mr. Bubble. Oh, man, you've never had a bubble bath like that ever. Like nothing beats that. You're like, oh, I need to always have jacuzzi tubs wherever I live. The only problem is you got a big jacuzzi tub, like 2-person tub, and you really can't take baths that often because, especially if you're by yourself, sometimes you want to luxuriate in a bubble bath by yourself. But if you got a 2-person tub, you're wasting a lot of water. Plus, what we really need to do is get a heated jacuzzi tub. That way it holds the temperature. Because you know how it is, especially in the wintertime. Those of you who have winter, you fill the tub up with hot water. It's all just right. You're like, this is it. And then just after a few minutes, the temperature starts to fall and fall and fall. And soon it's not so sexy. It's not so sexy. So yeah, that's my recommendation for today. Get yourself Mr. Bubble. All right, let's dig it back out here and see. Ow. All right, so look at that. We've got some nice, clean-looking basket. Relatively clean. Somewhat clean. Sort of, kind of clean. Now, of course, remember, I am a coffee professional, so don't do this at home, meaning that, this is actually pretty darn hot. But I feel like over the years, I've developed a heat tolerance on my fingers, an ability to not sense when my fingers are about to burn off. So there, look at that. Oh, OxyClean magic. Oh, goodness, look at that. That is what we're looking for. Now, we really want to rinse this off really well. But in this particular case, since we're going to reuse this into our group head, we don't have, here's one thing I'm thinking about that's a problem, right? Like if you look at this, right? Well, now and then, in order for us to get the proper flushing technique through the system, I have to put this back in. However, one of the problems that I'm thinking about that I don't like is that now, if we look here, right? If we look here at our dispersion head, it is very crusty, very not so nice. So, let's see what happens when I press the button. So we want to make sure that we clean this before we reassemble. So let's see about, how can I put this in here? I think I'll put it over here. So you can see that. I think you can see that all right. Can you see that all right? Oh, no, you can't see that at all. Okay, there we go. Maybe a little bit more boosting of our ISO. Okay, so there. You can see how dirty it is, right? So I'm going to take some of this liquid that we've been using for cleaning, and I'm going to push the brush in it, and I'm just going to scrubby it. I don't think this is ideal, but, you know, it has been, I'll be honest, it has been a long time since I've done this. Actually, let me fix something here. Sorry, it's all like trying to get that to focus correctly. There we go, much better. We want to scrub around the locking rings to get it all out. Let's do a little bit of rinse there. Oh, that's looking better, I think. Also, right here around the ring there, you want to make sure you get into where the wings would get into the groove on the outer edge of our group head. Devin says, definitely looks clear. Thank you. This is why you tune in. All right, let's see if we can rub that off a little bit. See if maybe that looks nice. Does that look better? Ooh. If I look on there, okay, that looks better. So what I really am interested in doing is just cleaning that off just to help it for our back flushing, because the back flushing is what's going to happen next. Okay, now we've got our gasket. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a portafilter. We're going to push this up in here. And I'm going to use the portafilter's leverage to seat it back in place. Okay, that's good. Now we're going to go back here and take our portafilter that has the OxyClean in it, and we're going to go into our machine, like this, lock it in place. We're going to hit the brew button and let it brew 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And once it pressurizes, done. In this particular case, we got a little bit of the expectoring by this. Down here, you can see that happens. It shoots out down there. Let's try this again. Brew again. We're pressurized. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, there it goes. Now it's starting to come out from around the gasket. I'm going to hold it. And every time I hit that, it drops. So here's one of the things that I want to do is that in this particular machine, we want to let it run just a few moments under pressure once it starts to stall, so that we get the Cafiza, so I'm just using Cafiza like I would use Kleenex. We would get the OxyClean, the cleaning agent, into the group head to get it nice and clean, right? Because we want to have all of the cleaning agent get into all the tubing of the group head and into all the crevices of the group head so that it can do its job, right? And all it has to do is get in there. It's already doing its eating, right? It's already doing its eating. So let's try this again here. Now we reach full pressure. You see it's kind of coming out. So I'm going to let that sit there. Okay, now it's stalling. And then it drops out of there. You can see that it is dirty down there. It's dirty coming out of there. Okay, now hit it again. This is hop number 4. Bring it to full stall. Oh, there we go. Let's sit there for a moment. Then I'm going to hit the button, and you're going to see it expectorate. There we go, getting it out there. Okay, we're going to do this about 10 times. Oh, there it is leaking. And you don't have to wait as long as I'm doing it. You can just go right away with it again. You can see it's coming out of the, you can see it's starting to come around the gasket, because the gasket needs to be replaced, without a doubt. I hope this is not damaging the gasket too much that we're not going to be able to use it tomorrow. All right, this will be the last time. I think that's 10. Or, close to thereafter. Let's see what's going on here. So we've got a little bit of liquid there. Now we're going to try to clean it up a little bit more. So I'm going to put it in, but I'm putting it in very loose. All right, see how it's moving? I want it to come around like that to force the liquid around and into the, nice, more into the grooves, just to help rinse it out, right? All right, that's good. That's good. Now we're going to, take this out. We're running clear. The water's running clear. Look at this. The water, nice and clear, nice and clear. And we should have pretty much a good, clean group head. Getting some coloration still, from the water still a little bit colored. Actually, you can just leave it running too. If you, in between runs like that, if I'm just doing this, right, I can just dump it out, put it back in, maybe rinse it out a little more. Now the only thing you're starting to blow through your, you're starting to blow through your water reservoir, which is, all right. There we go. And I think that should leave us with a nicely clean group head that we're pretty much done with in that respect, right? So flush that through, look at that, looks good. Yeah, okay, good. That's a positive thing. Now we're gonna come back with our tools and have a look at them. So like with this, you can see, whoa, the portafilter is nice and clean. What I'm going to do now, though, that's pretty much everything we need to do. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to, pour out the cleaning agent into the sink, and I'm going to rinse it because there is going to be a little bit of a film buildup on the components. I'm just going to use kind of warmish water. It doesn't have to be warm. It doesn't have to be hot. It can be cold, actually. You just want to rinse it off really well because you'll feel that there is a kind of residue. And I just rinse it off till I don't feel the residue anymore. All right. So fairly simple. We've got our basket, nice and clean. Didn't really have to do anything. If there's buildup, you have to scrub it. But look, even here, look at that, perfectly clean now. Beautiful, beautiful. Portafilter, awesome. Put that back together. And gosh, we are almost ready to go. Ready to rock and roll almost. Now, one thing we do have to look at here at the machine is that now, since we've been pulling so much water through the machine, we're probably getting dangerously close to running out of water. Now let's go check the machine and make sure that we're not running out of water yet, and I can continue operations. Yeah, there's still water. I can feel that there's enough weight in there. Okay, but we do need to clean out our drip tray because our drip tray is now very full. As you can see here, very, very full. All right. And make sure the drip tray goes in correctly. And then we need to do a little wiping because it is a little bit dirty. Okay, now we're almost ready. We're going to push the portafilter back in. And just to heat it up, I'm going to hit it with the water. Yeah, there we go. That's lovely. All right, and so that pretty much brings us to how you clean the espresso machine. Now there are other things you can do, like you can look here at the steam wand, and if you want to take it apart, you can take it apart. Just make sure that it's all clean, right? And just inspect your parts. Make sure that the tip of your nozzle is clean. There might be a little bit of dirt right there, so you can just scrub that off and make sure there's no buildup on the inside. You might smell that. You can even just kind of like flush it out. Make sure it all works well. Ouch. Be careful because it is hot. This is one thing while you're working with an espresso machine, you don't want to grab onto something. You want to be ginger, right? So I'm really just holding it lightly with my fingers, because if I grabbed on like this, then, you know, it could scorch more of my hand. Where if I'm just holding lightly, like in that particular case, my finger was halfway on this rubber and halfway on the tube, and the tube was still hot. So I got a little bit of hotness, right? Okay, so that's it. We're ready to go. I think we're ready to go and brew some more coffee here. We're gonna brew some coffee. Let's get at it. Now, I'm not too concerned about our first shot because, you know, we're going to presume there's going to be perhaps some leftover residual OxyClean on there. So let's just put that there. Good. Oops. Look at that. Oh, not bad. Not bad for not doing anything. Not great. A little bit, probably it's running pretty fast. I think it's a little bit light as far as our quantity of coffee goes, right? So let's come over here. Now you can see the shot looks all right. Now I would not recommend what we're going to do now. We're going to taste this just to see if there's any residual flavor. Not so much, which is a good thing. Maybe a little bit. But let's prepare another shot, and this one we'll do a little bit nicer. Get that ready. Ooh, it's a little bit much. Whoops. Oh yeah, there we go. Now we're talking. Now we got a lot of coffee in it. is our shot. All right, not bad. That's not bad. Look, let's see how it tastes. We're back to being bright coffee, which is what we're having, because this is still the House Nation in the machine. So, all right, there it is. How to clean your espresso machine. Hope that helps. Like I said, you can use OxyClean unscented, but use unscented. If you're going to use OxyClean, get a OxyClean unscented. It's pretty much the same thing as the other cleaners out there and is much more economical. You can buy this 11.6 pound box for, I don't know, $20 at Costco or something like that. You can get the 5 pounds for $15 at like the local Target or something. So it's a very economical way to go, especially if you're cleaning a lot and if you want to wash your clothes as a pre-rinse. Fantastic. All right, so that's pretty much it for today. We'll be back again tomorrow with another coffee Q&A. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about the AeroPress Clear and Chili. Yeah, so stay tuned. Hope to see you again soon. Hope that helps. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments down below or over here to the side. Devin, see you next time. All you guys, thank you very much for joining. Capre, good to see you. Thank you for joining us today. Mom, Maku, and everyone. Hope you have a good one, and see you next time.